we will discuss about communication and communication tree. Earlier, we had discussed about basic grammar and subject-verb agreement rules, which is a part of language and grammar. Now, today we would understand communication and how the communication tree evolved over a period of time. Now, going ahead, what is communication? Communication is a process of exchanging or conveying information or ideas or thoughts from one person to another person, from one person to another group, or from one group to another group. Basically, the communication could be in terms of several ways. It could be verbal and non-verbal. Now, to give you a basic understanding or to give you a definition of communication, we could say communication is the process of exchanging or conveying information, ideas, or thoughts. Now, now, this particular picture that we have here will help us understand how actually communication evolved over the period of time. If you look at the bottom of the page with the picture, you have a two which says consonant sounds and vowel sounds. And even before that, let's talk about how communication evolved. Now, in order for the communication to be evolved, we started from a basic alphabet. From one alphabet, we have derived 26 letters. Now, 26 letters are further classified into two categories. That is, one being vowels and consonants. Now, when we talk about vowels, we have about A, E, I, O, U. Apart from A, E, I, O, U, rest of all are considered to be consonants. So that makes it 5 vowel letters and consonant letters of 21. Whole together makes it about 26 letters. With the help of 26 letters, we were able to form something called as words. Right. And with the words, we started forming sentences, and the sentences became meaningful information, and that henceforth converted to be something called as language, which is a common medium, and the language could be termed as a communication again. Now, when we talk about communication, we have majorly two different types of communication. Number one being written or visual communication. Number two being a verbal communication. So let's look into a little more details about what is verbal communication and what is a written communication or visual communication. Now, before we get into that, so I would like to give you a little bit of information about what kind of language is English. English is a language which does not go by the way it's written, but rather pronounced and with the help of syllables. Now, if in order to understand that, we need to understand phonetics. So phonetics is a study of or a systematic study of speech sounds. Like, for example, English and French are non-phonetic. This means that there isn't always a one-to-one correspondence or one-to-one relation between the letters of the English alphabet and the sounds of the English language. Say, for example, now we have a few examples at the bottom, one which says cat and ace. Though we have the first letter C, it produces a ka sound in a word cat, and in the same letter C, another word which says ace produces a s sound. And in a similar way, if we look at the other word which says sat, and it says s sound, and in his it has z sound. So typically what I'm trying to say here is non-phonetic language does not have a correlation or a relation between one-to-one letters or the way it's written. It's always pronounced with the help of a syllable, which we will talk about in the future sessions. All right. To give you a bit of understanding of what a syllable is nothing but a small unit of a vowel or consonant sound, could be termed as a syllables. So generally, in order to give you, the way we write is not the same way we speak. All Indian languages and German is phonetic. However, English and French are non-phonetic. Communication is primarily classified into two types. Number one is verbal communication. Verbal communication is primarily defined as use of sounds and words to express yourself or your ideas or your emotions. All right. So any of these expressions, we primarily try to use certain verbal sounds and verbal communication to express our feelings. So the next thing that we have is written or visual communication. Written communication means it's a communication, a type of communication. We go ahead and write and send out the messages or orders or instructions or the letters or circulars or manuals or reports, telegrams, office memos, bulletins, etc. Now it could be any sort of writing that we do is considered to be as a written communication. And again, in written communication, as we mentioned on the top, we have several forms. It could be the written communication could be used in sending messages or circulars or manuals, etc. Now, let's get to a little more details of how the sound is produced, and when the sound is produced, how actually everyone go ahead and uses the sound. Now, typically, to give you a definition, sound is produced by exhaling the air through the articulators. Speech is dependent on certain things, that is primarily breathing out, throat or windpipe, voice box or vocal cord, or it could be certain vibration that is caused in your throat, and resonance. And there are several factors which are involved in the production of sound, primarily articulators. When I say articulators, articulators are the organs that we use to go ahead and produce sound. That could be in terms of upper lip, your lower lip, and upper teeth, upper gum ridge, which is also called as alveolar ridge, and the hard palate, which is your upper palate of your mouth, and velum, which is a soft palate, uvula, free hanging end of the soft palate, and pharyngeal wall, and glottis, that is primarily the space between the vocal cords. So these are primary articulators which are used in the production of sound. Without using these articulators, we will not be able to pronounce or speak a very good language. So hence, keep in mind, articulators are something which are used to produce sound. Articulation is the process of using these parts to produce a perfect or a great pronunciation. So, and we also use the air inside our thoracic cavity or chest to create the resonance, which makes our voice loud. And then, in talking about sounds, we have voice sounds and voiceless sounds. How do we differentiate between voice sounds and voiceless sounds? Voice sounds are primarily more are the sounds that has more vibration, and unvoiced or voiceless sounds are something which has a less vibration. But how are we going to figure that out? When you put your hand on your throat and say a particular sound, and you can feel the vibration in your throat. When you feel a high vibration on your throat, that's a voice sound. Whenever you feel less vibration, that's a voiceless sound. Let's say, for example, I am ma. When I say ma, there's a lot of vibration. When I say sir, sir, there is always a very little vibration. So you have several sounds which are voiced and voiceless, which we would be looking into in further sessions, which is your voice and accent. So moving on, when the sound comes to your mouth cavity, then a consonant and vowel sounds happen. Primarily now, if you have, why are these letters differentiated into two forms called as vowel sounds and consonant sounds? Vowel sounds are something which are usually free flow sounds. There's no obstruction of air or any organ when you are producing these sounds. Henceforth, all vowel sounds are your voice sounds. And all consonant sounds, there is always an obstruction of air to produce the consonant sound. Henceforth, they're also known as voiced or voiceless sounds. Now, let's look into the definition in a little more detail about your vowel sounds and consonant sounds. As we have a definition here, vowel sounds are free-flowing sounds. These sounds are produced without any obstruction of air. Hence, vowel sounds are called as free-flow sounds or uninterrupted sounds. So whenever you produce a sound which is not interrupted, that you could consider as a vowel sound. And a consonant sound, to produce consonant sound, there is always an interruption of an airflow, or hence an interruption of an airflow, or you interruption or blocking your organs or usage of organs to block the air, right? Hence consonant sounds are also called as interrupted sounds, because we interrupt the sound by blocking our articulators on the airflow. In other words, there is always a blockage or a diversion of the airflow. Henceforth, these are called as consonant sounds. So that's about the communication tree, how communication evolved and how communication is differentiated in terms of what are letters and what are out of the types that have been, differentiated into. And we will learn a few more concepts in the same as we go ahead.